People are always asking me about Cobras, one, what should they buy? What's the differences? They're always confused about how many different models there are, and it's easy to understand. We've probably owned a couple hundred Cobras between 289s and 427s, and they are very different. You have 260s, you have 289s, you have different steerings, you have worm and sectors, and you have rack and pinions, and some have side scoops and some don't. And then you have all the competition versions for the 289 and the 260, and then you have the Daytona coupes, and you have big blocks, and you have different iterations of big blocks, 427 side oilers, center oilers, 428 cars, all the comp cars there. It's very confusing. There's a lot to understand. So I always get the question, what Cobra can I live with that isn't going to try to kill me, that isn't a ridiculous amount of money, that represents good value, and is a fun car to drive? And I think it's this one right here. Not this particular car, but this version of a 427 Cobra. Let me go through the nuances and why the prices are different on these cars. So like with a lot of cars, it comes down to the engine. And it doesn't matter if it's a Hemi Cuda compared to a 446 pack. It doesn't matter really what the car is. For the most part, it's what's under the hood. And that's why this car represents such great value. So the first 100 cars came with the 427 center oiler 2.4 barrel. Of those, approximately 30-ish were narrow hip cars. Then there's the infamous, Shelby scam, as you want to call it. Whether it was because he was saving $300, he put in a 428 PI motor in the next 100 cars, roughly 3201 to, I forget what it is, 3304 or 5. The next 100 cars had the 428s, and the last 60 cars had basically the 427 side oiler, the full competition engine, which virtually everybody thinks was in every 427. It was really only in the last few cars that that motor came in a street car. So why are these cars priced differently than the rest? And historically, they really haven't been. Up until about 10 or 15 years ago, nobody even really cared or knew the difference. Everybody thought they had 427 side oilers in their Cobras. The middle 100 cars had 428s in them. They came with 10.5 compression. They came with a hydraulic cam. They came with a single 4-barrel. They made 335 horsepower. They were a very easy car to drive. A lot of the 427s with the 2.4 barrels and higher compression, and of course the SC cars and the comp cars, they were 550 horsepower realistically in a super light car. For guys that got caught out a little bit with them, you can see in the registry, there are a lot of guys that got killed in those cars. This car won't try to kill you. Then people say, well, I like the slab sides. I like the 289s. They're so much nicer to drive. Well, those people really haven't driven one of these cars, I believe, because what you have is you have a 3-inch chassis and you have a buggy spring on a 289 and a 260. It doesn't matter what iteration you have. That spring chassis setup is not as good as a 427 chassis with the 4-inch tubes, more rigid, and a coil-over that's adjustable. The coil-over system is just a better system. I don't care how you slice it, it's just a better working system. So from purely drivability in suspension terms, the 427 is a better car to drive. What people are always talking about is the 427's 550 horsepower. Those cars can get you in trouble in a real hurry. This car at 335 horsepower, again, very docile big block car. Even though it's a cubic inch bigger than the 427, it's super easy to drive. You can stand on the gas pedal. Will it spin the tires? Absolutely. Would it put you in the ditch in a second? Not like a 427. So this car is very usable, very drivable. I think it's the most drivable of all Cobras, quite frankly. And then it comes down to price. 289s are generally cheaper than 427s. There's no doubt about it. They're traditionally half price or even a little bit less. But what you've got is in the last 10 years, people have shied away a little bit from the 428s because they want the big dog. They want the 427, they want the side oiler, they want the comp cars and all that. So these cars have lagged a little bit behind. So car for car, a 428 car is almost worth the same as a 289, but they're way rarer. So a 3200 series Cobra, those are the ones that had the 428s put in them, are roughly 100 cars, just over 100 cars. 289 Cobras, all iterations, or call them leaf spring Cobras, there's 655 of those cars built. This car is 6 times rarer. It has better suspension, better drivability. You can argue it's about the same interior space. It's about the same heat. These cars don't produce, as much heat obviously as a 427 with big compression and a lumpy cam and 2 4-barrels on it. So they're very usable. They stay cool, they run cool, they work really well. A good 289 Cobra, let's call it $1 million. For a perfect 289 Cobra is $1.5 million. And for a great original 289 Cobra, original paint, original interior, and original drivetrain, that again is probably in that $1.5 million range. That's why this thing represents such great value. 428 cars have lagged a little bit from all the other cars, but here we have an original paint, original drivetrain, original interior, low mileage 427 Cobra 3200 series with a 428 in it. And it's in that same price range of $1.5 million, the same as a 289. You have a super rare car, super drivable car, super original car that I think is undervalued today. They should be more than a 289 Cobra in the same condition. Why have those 100 cars that had 428 stuck in them lagged behind? Really only in the last 10 years have people even acknowledged the difference in the motors and said, hey, this one isn't as much horsepower, it's not as much compression, it isn't as fast. But literally, the rest of the car is identical. Take a 427, whether it's a 3100 car or 3300 car with the 427 center oiler or the side oiler, a car in this condition is $3 million plus. It's an original paint, survivor, original drivetrain, original interior, super low mileage car. Those cars are almost impossible to find and super expensive. Pretend this condition of car were a 289. Well, it would be easily a $1.5 million car. So you have over $3 million and $1.5 million, and this car should be slotted and historically has been slotted in between and closer to all the other 427s because it looks exactly like them. It just has a little bit less horsepower. Right now, it's the same price as a 289. I think that these cars have to pull up in value compared to the rest of the 427s. They've just lagged behind. So when people ask me what is usable, what can I live with every day, what will I really enjoy, what won't kill me, and what has potential upside, it's the 3200 series 427 Cobras that had 428 engines in them.